I'm Josephine reporting for Kids First. Today I'm interviewing Jack Griffo, who plays Max Thunderman, the reformed villain and elder son in the Nickelodeon series The Thundermans, and takes center stage in the upcoming sequel, The Thundermans Undercover. Jack Griffo is known for his performances in the Nick movies Splitting Adam and Jinxed, the Netflix series Alexa and Katie, Batman and Superman, Battle of the Super Sons, and many more. I love the character Max Thunderman, who is hilariously dramatic. How did you feel about playing such a character?
I love playing Max. The short answer. I think that around the time I was auditioning for this character when I was a kid, there was a lot of other roles that I could have gotten at the time, and even at the time, I might have even wanted those roles even more. But everything truly happens the way it's supposed to because I really got the best role I could have gotten out of all of those things that, I thought I might want over what I got. And it just kind of teaches you not to sort of fret over the things that you think you should be getting over what you have, that you always have to um, be content and be happy with what you got and sort of work with that, because if you don't, you're not really going to be fully able to give yourself to that thing.
Is that how you would say that you and Max are very similar?
you know I think when you do a series rather than if you do like a movie, the series, you have time to sort of like grow with the character, and in the same way, the writers and the producers like get to know you. And year after year, they sort of start melding the two together, Max and Jack. And, they take things that I would do in real life and they'd write it in the show. And I'll take the things that Max does in the show and I'll do it in real life. And so, by the end of the show, it was really like, what is even the difference between me and Max? Nothing really.
Mhm.
And me wanting to be an actor and that being my passion and my calling, and I still go to acting class every Wednesday, and after I finish on the show, I really had to do a lot of work in separating Max and Jack and realizing that I was doing a lot of my auditions and, my scenes in class like I was on the Thundermans, like I was Max. And while it sounds easy to just be like, oh, well, just don't do that. It's just not that easy. You get conditioned to be a certain way, to do, a certain style of performing. And so it's taken a lot of work to sort of separate the two and really ask myself like who Jack is and what I think about things, and how I behave, and how it's really not Max. It's all good because I've done that work to sort of separate the two. I am able now to sort of go back and forth because I'm still going to acting class. I'm still growing, and that's what I think is important for kids to know is like there's no cap to these things. You can grow in them and with them for a lifetime. So kind of just went on a tangent, but I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it's very fascinating. It's also really inspiring too.
Cool.
So, um, what was one scene in the Thunderman's Undercover that you had the most bloopers in?
Each day, and this is the way that it was on the original show as well, but now we're doing double the amount of work in the same amount of time. So it almost happens even more, because instead of 2 days a week, we're shooting 4 days a week, and we do 2 episodes in a week. And all I'll say about bloopers is that I'm pretty good with my lines, after all these years of having the practice, and memorizing is just like a muscle. But there's always one line in like every shoot day that, whether it takes me a couple more times than normal, and that's the one I really, mess up on, or it's one of those things that it's really bad and like the whole crew is like, oh man, like poor kid, like it's and it just happens, like sometimes it's really difficult lines, like especially Max. Max and Phoebe both have a lot of like kind of tongue twister lines sometimes, and I feel like me especially
Mhm.
because of the whole like the gadgets thing and the whole techie place that Max sort of lives in a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's those lines that I really have to like really study and really say a bunch of times, and then sometimes it's like really easy lines that just kind of get in your head. But either
Mhm.
way, it usually every day there's like one time of the day that I have my like massive like ugh, you know but that's just a part of it, and it's part of what makes it fun, and it's part of what makes it a challenge, and um yeah.
Yeah, like it's fun to have a challenge.
Absolutely. I think you should always
Mhm.
challenge yourself. I think it's my advice to kids too. A lot of people will tell you that you should just be good at everything, and that's just not true. Like you should be failing. You should be failing at things. You really should.
Mhm.
Because, if you're not failing at things, you're not really trying very hard, and then you're not really learning anything.
Yeah, that's a very important lesson on failure and how important it actually is.
Yeah.
Mhm. So, you've been working on the Thundermans for a while now, and you work with a really great cast. Which of your co-stars would you say you're probably the closest with?
Definitely Diego. I mean, as
Mhm.
it would be, we're like brothers, and we're the boys of the family, and so, I think we gravitated towards each other, and we definitely went through that. Even with me and my own brother, um we're like 7 years apart, and me and Diego
Mhm.
are like 5 years apart, so it's like kind of similar.
Mhm.
We went through that phase of, when we were first on the show and I was 16 and Diego was like, 12 or 11 or whatever it was,
Mhm.
when it wasn't a match, because when you're 16, you don't really want to hang out with an 11-year-old. But
Mhm.
once Diego was like, 15, and I was like 20 at the end of the show, towards the end, and even a little bit before the end, but around that time you sort of get past the age gap, and you can hang, and that happened with me and my siblings in real life as well. So definitely Diego, yeah.
Just like important to have relationships with your cast members.
Any relationships you have in life are going to come with challenges, because we're complicated, we're emotional, and I when you're working with someone especially, you have to prioritize keeping that relationship healthy. It's important to sort of swallow your pride, and do some real work to, like I said, keep that relationship healthy, because it's going to make the whole project healthy, and it's going to make the whole project successful, if you have a good sort of working partnership with the people around you.
So I've heard you're also a musician.
That's right.
Yeah. Have you played any music in the series yet?
Um, I definitely sing in one of these episodes in this first season of the spinoff. I don't know if it's aired yet. I don't think it has. Oh, I think it's the Christmas episode. Yeah, so it
Yeah.
has not aired for sure. So yes.
Thank you for speaking with me, Mr. Griffo.
You're welcome, Josephine. Nice to talk to you. Thank you.
You can watch Jack Griffo on the Nickelodeon series The Thundermans Undercover. It is available on Nickelodeon and other digital platforms. I'm Josephine, reporting for Kids First. Remember to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss another one of my next interviews or those of my team members. See you next time!